up until I was about 33 years old, I think I felt comfortable in manly sort of clothing and felt like that was a good way to travel through the world and not be harassed by people. And then getting pregnant changed that all around, because I was huge and I was really big with big breasts and big hips and big stomach, and nothing fit me except dresses, you know, maternity dresses, and everything changed, and I found I really liked it. And it's really hard to think about being manly when you have this little daughter, or when you need to breastfeed, for example. I think getting pregnant with my daughter had a lot to do with that, because when you're pregnant, you feel the world in a different way. You feel your body in a different way than you did before. And I was really hungry through most of my pregnancy, and I was huge, you know, and I think it kind of awakened a lot of desires and appetites, not just for eating, but for other things as well. I would not really want to describe the day that I gave birth to Ruby in too much more detail than what I say on the record. I mean, I really had struggled with what details to put in, you know. I was thinking, do you put in, you know, the part where the IV slipped out of my arm and there's blood flying around the walls? It was a really extreme experience and a really edgy one, and it was one that I think could be addressed in a song that's fairly rock and roll. You know, I know a lot of women, they have babies and then they write lullabies or they write really sweet songs, and I felt I wanted to write about the experience itself in a way that was as edgy and realistic as the thing, without being too disgusting. I have to say that I was surprised by some of the production choices that we both ended up making on 99.9. I was very familiar with Mitchell's previous work, and there's nothing in his previous work that would have prepared me for what we decided to do. So I think a lot of it, he really fits the production to the songs themselves and the style of the songs themselves. So if I come in with a song called Blood Makes Noise, that's the sound you're going to get. You're not going to have a beautiful acoustic guitar with a nice choir in the back. You're going to have noisy, kind of dirty sounding things, because that's what the song is about. That was just such a great feeling, you know, to feel that you had won, you know, and that you'd gone in there and you'd won, and that everyone was behind you. You know, it was, in some ways, those childhood experiences were really good, and they were good preparation for real life. I learned how to write poetry, and I learned how to fight, and those were probably the two most useful things in my life. Some of the things that changed my songwriting was the fact that I don't really have the time to hang out in Greenwich Village anymore. I mean, I would go down there every week and I would discuss characters and narrative and language and melody and stuff like that with a group of songwriters, and so a song like The Queen and the Soldier went over really well in that kind of environment. And I find lately, first of all, I don't have as much time as I used to, so I'm kind of push myself to get the information out in a punchy way and in a way that makes sense in a short period of time, partly because I find I just don't have the time myself that I used to be reflective. I think probably as I get older, I'll probably try and do more and more writing. It's harder for me, you know, to write prose than it is to write a song, but it's still something that I really love.